Yo, 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 yo. How is everyone doing?
Yes, yes, and welcome to the 10-year anniversary of 9320. That has absolutely flown by. Like, that's absolutely insane.
Rapid.
Too quick, bro. Almost too quick. Yeah, hope you're all doing all right, guys. What day is it today? Friday.
Friday day.
It's a bit weird. I feel like it's a Saturday.
You know what it is because we went out last night.
Yeah, it's because we went out last night. That's actually why. But yeah, hopefully you guys are doing all right. Obviously, City play on Sunday. So for those people that are asking, like, where's the West Ham content? We'll do that tomorrow. Obviously, today is the 10-year anniversary of 9320. So we want to discuss that. Discuss our memories. You guys can tell us your memories. Where were you on that day? All that kind of stuff. Stories. Who did you watch it with? Any funny stories as well? Let us know. And basically just have a bit of a conversation for an hour. At 7 o'clock, City go live, I think, on their YouTube channel. So we'll finish at 7, so you won't miss any of that. And then you can all go and watch that if you so desire. Before we get into it, guys, please make sure you drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well as if you're new. We're trying to get to 55,000 subscribers, guys. And massive shout out to OneFootball. They sponsored today's stream. You know what it's about, guys. They've got the sick app. Go get it. It's completely free. We'll put the QR code on screen. I'll whack the stuff in the pinned comment in a minute as well. Yeah, sick app, guys. Completely free. If you download it, help support the channel. All your City news on there. Transfer news, transfer rumours, in-game stats, and in-game commentary. Nah, Sam, we're not doing a watch-along because I think that City are doing a watch-along basically at 7 o'clock, so there's no point.
The thing is, City aren't just doing a watch-along. They can show the match.
Yeah.
So, like, they can actually show the match in that. So, it would be a bit weird for us to do a watch-along at the same time when they can, like, do you know what I mean, actually go through the things on screen and that. And it's probably better for you guys to watch that as much as, like, you probably want to watch it with us and that. It'd be sick, obviously, to watch the actual City thing, so it's probably better for you to watch that.
What we can do, maybe in the summer when there's nothing to do, if there's enough demand for it, we can watch it then on the channel and go from there, innit? But yeah, you might as well watch it at 7. Anyway, we'll get into it because we are limited on time. Like I say, we will leave you at 7 so you can go and join the City thing. So anyone who's tuning in now, don't worry, you ain't going to miss it. Yeah, so it's just a buzzing. By the way, have you seen the statue, bro? Sergio
I've
statue.
seen the
We should probably start off with the statue.
Yeah, what do you think about it, bro?
I like it. I like that style of statue. I think it's what it's done is it's split opinion. Not split opinion. I don't want to say like it's a massive debate over a fucking statue, but some people don't like it. The reason that some people don't like it is because this isn't just a statue. This is a piece of art, and as with art is, you know, people look at something and go, I don't like that. Some other people
Art
look
is an
at it and go,
interpretation,
nice.
isn't it?
Whereas if they City could have just gone down the route of concrete statue, yeah, or bronze statue or whatever, and everyone would be like, oh yeah, it's a statue, nice. What they've chosen to do, and I think it's the correct thing to do, is say, no, we don't just want it to be a piece of concrete or a piece of bronze, you know what I mean? Like, we want it to be a piece of art, and that's why I think some people don't like it, because it's an art, and it's obviously, you know, everyone has their own opinion on it. Me personally, and I'm not even just saying this, I actually do like it. I like all three. I think all three are sick, and I think they look mint when it's at night time and it's lit up.
When they're lit up at night, they look mint.
Yeah, Sam says their art is subjective, and it is sort of subjective. But me personally, I like it, innit? So it is what it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not a problem. You know, like I say, everyone has their own opinions.
I like it, you know. I actually think it looks decent. People saying like it doesn't actually look like him, but it does. It's young Aguero, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like it. I think it looks sick, and I completely agree with the fact that it looks better at night than it does in daytime. Like,
yeah, I like it.
The nighttime like vibe that them statues have, because they have that blue light on them. The mint, they're actually mint, and all three of them the exact same style. Yeah, Elizabeth. So do you know what I mean? It's like it's a good way of doing it, and like M50 sound like you said, bro. It's subjective, isn't it? Art is art.
No, I do like it, and it is obviously, you got to remember, guys, this is Serge from his very first season.
Yeah.
So,
at least we didn't get a Ronaldo statue, that Ronaldo thing. Like, if they would have gone full bronze statue and it turned out like that with that weird face, like Ronaldo, imagine the memes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would have been roasted. Absolutely roasted.
No, I do. I like it, but yeah, lit up on Champs League nights. Yeah, it'll look nice, man. It's I really like it. I think it looks.
That's
sick.
good. It is good.
Carl there says, I love how City have been unique and different from your typical statues. They're beautiful. That's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
true. It's not just like a big block of iron, isn't it?
If they wanted to, but yeah, I think it looks nice, man. So yeah, that's it. Anyway, that is at the City Stadium, along with the Vincent Kompany one, and with the David Silva one as well. So yeah, I've not seen the Surge one, not been down there today, but I will try and get down and have a look in person. That's another thing as well. It's like when we do the kit reviews. So many times we do the kit reviews and we're like, nah, I don't like the kits, man. The kits look rubbish. And then we get the kits, or you see it like proper on the person, and you're like, oh, that's actually real nice. Mm-hmm. And actually, funny enough, I've seen the two release kits, the home and away one this season. I like them both. Who knows? When I see them in person, I might go, oh, I actually don't like them. I mean, so sometimes seeing something on a computer screen and seeing it in person can also make you.
Do you remember the white like Paisley kit last year?
Yeah.
People didn't like it when they first seen it, but then everyone kind of warmed to it when it was actually on the kit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Incredible Live with £1. Yes, appreciate the donation, mate. And Pep Guardiola is the greatest manager of all time with a 79p. Yes, I appreciate that. And Wolves FL with a €2. City, I don't
What's the emoji?
Smiley face, bro.
Maybe
like City, innit?
Yeah, maybe just
well, to be fair, we have just played Wolves, haven't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I appreciate the super chat, innit?
Yeah, right. Let's get into it, guys, because I'm conscious of the time here. Okay, so 10 years ago today, City went into battle with QPR, Queen's Park Rangers, at the Etihad, basically needing to match United's result, and we would be Premier League champions. And got off to a pretty decent start. It was a nice day from what I can remember. I think I was in like just t-shirt. Maybe I was in shorts.
No, you weren't.
Was I not in t-shirt? No.
I
think it was a nice day.
Bro, you was in pants and you had a yellow.
I was in pants. I was in trousers. Is that a thing?
Yeah, boy, you was in pants. Shorts weren't your thing back then.
I didn't have shorts.
Also, you had a City top on, and you had a yellow cardigan on.
Okay. That's
cardigan.
You
cardigan.
Remember everything, bro.
No, I remember because I've just seen a picture of it.
Oh yeah.
I've got 3 pictures in it.
Oh no way.
I'm gonna put the pictures up in a second. We'll speak about it. 3 pictures of me and LB.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, you know, the game started. The atmosphere was was pretty decent. I mean, obviously, it was we was going for our first title in many years. So obviously there was a little bit of nerves around the place. However, it got off to a good start. Obviously, Pablo Zabaleta got through on the right hand side. It was a nice play with him and I think it was Yaya Toure who put Zaba in and smacked it at Paddy Kenny, who didn't actually have a great game that day. And the ball went in, and at that point, it was pretty chill, wasn't it, bro? Everyone was just like, yeah, the atmosphere at that point seemed to, we morphed into more of a party mode.
It was party mode. Everyone, it was rocking, innit? Like, basically, it was like, yeah, don't worry, we've got this in the bag now. That was pretty much it. And then, I mean, it was very chilled. You didn't think that City were going to fuck it up at any point.
Yeah.
It was just smooth sailing at that point.
Yeah, no, it was good at that point, man. How old was you back then? It was 10 years ago, so 17. That's wild.
Oh my God, you know, when you said 10 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, it must have been like 12 or 13. But nah, 10 years ago is 17. That's grim, that. But we're getting old, innit?
Yeah, we are getting
we're boomers.
We're the boomer guy. Yeah, we would have been, Cardigan LB. Oh, you know what? That's actually Pep, innit? Pep,
that is Pep, innit? You basically, Pep's Pep. 10 years late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, you know, we were 17 at the time. We was in block 112 and 122, I should say.
122, yeah, block 122, and was right near the front.
Yeah.
Was it P? It was row P. I'm sure it was row P.
What a memory.
What a memory.
But
I know, because we got easy entrance onto the pitch anyway.
Yeah. No, it was, and at that point, everything was pretty chill, guys, and. You know, I don't know what you're... Obviously, guys, as we're speaking about this, by the way, and going through the timeline of the day, make sure you put in your thoughts and how, you know, what do you remember from these moments at this time? Because I want to see, not only we want to tell you our experience of the day, I want to see your experience of the day. You know what I mean? I want to know, where did you watch it? How was you feeling at the time? So 1-0 at City, this part of the game. Obviously, Zabaleta's just put us ahead. You know, it was pretty chill at this point. I think we was bossing the game. QPR... She weren't doing too much. I don't recall at that point, and you know, everything was going pretty decent. And obviously, then we took the lead after Pablo Zabaleta. What minute did he score in? The 39th. So you know, just before half time. You know, happy days. There would have been a few people that missed the goal who went to get the early pints in. Mm-hmm. So I mean, actually, there would have been a lot of people that missed quite a lot of goals that day because you know, there was a goal quickly after half time, which we'll come to in a moment. But, yeah, you know, Zabaleta put us ahead there. And obviously, you got to remember at this point, by the way, Man United were 1-0 ahead because I'm pretty sure they scored quite early in their game against Rooney, put them ahead against Sunderland quite early on in the game. And I remember that coming through, actually. We should probably talk about that. I remember that coming through and sort of hearing...
The crowd reaction, yeah.
Man United have gone 1-0 up. And at that point, to be fair, there was, like, nerves around the situation. But as soon as Zabaleta sort of struck back... you know, that sort of pressure turned into a little bit of excitement. We got a little bit giddy, as I said. The party mode started and stuff, so everything went pretty decent at that point. Danny Moore says, I was outside the ground with my dad. We burst past the stewards after the Aguero. Got to celebrate in the ground. No way, Danny. So what are you saying? Did you leave?
No way, Danny. Did you leave?
Did you leave the ground, or was you watching it outside? What's the situation there? James says, I was watching the game on the back of an all-nighter at a friend's. Mate, that was not a good situation. Nah. I bet you got well emotional there, man. Really too tired.
My dad would have too. I screamed. That's all I can remember, bro. I screamed. Yeah, I think everyone did, mate.
Yeah. So then half-time came, and something that I remember to this day, I remember turning to Johnny sitting on the left, right, and I remember saying to Jordan, we need to make the second half the most boring half of football we've ever seen. You know what I mean? I remember saying that, and I was like, because obviously that's it. We were 1-0 up, 1-0. That was fine. We would have won the league at 1-0. And I just remember thinking, I hope this second half is the most boring second half of football I have ever seen in my life. And it's just quite funny that it turned out to be one of the most dramatic second halves in existence, really. And and obviously we'll go through how it unfolded. Now Danny said he didn't leave. We couldn't get tickets.
Oh yeah, because that was I remember when before the United game, people were selling the season tickets for about $2,000.
Yeah, there was a lot
with like 2 or 3 games left, whatever it was. People were selling the season tickets for like $2,000 to get like the last bits in, because obviously the tickets were so like, do you know what I mean, sparse, and you couldn't get tickets for it at all. Aaron Noonan, I almost left the pub at 85 minutes, couldn't hack the abuse from the United fans on the other side. I had to stay, thank God. Good job you did stay. Imagine you left. Imagine you left. Oh my God. Still though, that must have been mint because you had all United fans giving you abuse, and then you literally just won the league. That must have been mint.
Yeah. Legan Cow there with a 4.49 super chat. Yes, James. He says, was watching with my United supporting mates. Room falls silent. Yeah, but that wasn't... No, it was good for you, but bad for them. Turkey there says, listen, I'm a foreign fan. I didn't support City back then. That's all good, Bray. You know, I mean, it's probably good to like listen to some of the opinions and sort of some of the stories, man, because that was one of... It probably was. No, it was actually the best day I've ever had as a City fan.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, some of the older City fans, you know, it'd be interesting to see how they compare it to, you know, winning trophies back in, you know, I don't know, when the 60s, whenever it was that we were slamming. But yeah, honestly, it was just absolutely incredible. AJ there says, escape from my brother's party to watching a pub with my dad. I mean, you couldn't miss it. If you was a City fan there, you was a City fan on that day, no matter what you had planned on that day, you could not miss the game. You couldn't miss it. So people would have like left birthday parties of their partners. You know, work would have been just, you know, there's no City fan that could possibly work. They would have just found a way to not go into work, man. So it was just a day that everyone had to experience, whether it was in the ground, outside the ground, in a pub, at a mate's house. I don't know, watching on your phone, whatever. You just had to watch the game.
You couldn't miss that. You couldn't miss that. John Grogan says, I was 52, block 132. My partial denture flew out while I was screaming. It went under the seats in front of me.
Did you find it?
Yeah, did you find it?
Probably
you must have, innit? Because anyway, it went. What did I say? Cody, did you grab some turf? Nah, I didn't do that, innit? We did get on the pitch, but we didn't grab any turf or anything. It is mad. It is mad. Only one exit, so they had to walk past the City side to get out. The abuse was given back tenfold. Aaron Noonan says at the pub. Love that. Love that. David Say, I think I said your name right, saving it. I was in bed at home recovering from surgery when Aguero scored. I got so excited that I nearly pulled my catheter out. Best day of my life. That's mad.
Yeah.
It is mad hearing like other people's kind of side of things.
Yeah, no, it is wild. Right, so after, anyone else got any like phrases or remember what they were doing or what
I'm
they were
surprised
saying
you even remember what you
time?
said. I'm surprised you said you remember saying. I don't remember you saying that to me. I don't remember it at all.
I remember saying it because it was such like a clear thing that it was just a madness. But is there anyone else that had anything that they remember saying or doing at half time? You know what I mean? Because obviously at half time, 1-0 up against a team that's in fighting, you know, relegation. I think they were like 17th at the time. They were fighting with Bolton. Does anyone remember anything that they did at half time? Because obviously no one could have envisaged what then happened in the second half. I just find it mad.
John Grogan did find his safe. He said did find lads put in my pocket. All my mates were pissing their eyes. I'd have been laughing as well, John. To be fair.
Yeah, that's mad. Right, let's go into the second half then, because to be honest, this is what it's all about. So obviously City come out in the second half, right? Pretty chill. We're 1-0 up. Let's just keep the ball. Let's just chill. And, you know, 45 minutes time, we will be Premier League champions. However, very, very quickly after half time, and this is what I'm saying again, in the 48th minute, so there would have been people that missed the Zabaleta goal, because that was scored in the 39th, and some people do go like 38, 39 minutes to go and get the pints. And then some people would have missed the Cisse goal, because it was so quick. Standard routine ball pumped up to Jolie Lescott.
He had a shot.
Head it away, mate. Head it away. You've done this umpteen times in your career. Head the ball away. And he tries to flick it back to Joe Hart. One of the most bizarre things you've ever seen. Like, even if you're not playing in a title-winning match, that's still a bizarre thing to do anyway. And he tries
it was a really bad header.
Yeah, he tries to flick it onto Joe Hart. Completely bizarre. I don't even know if I've ever seen anyone do that since. Like, even just in a standard game.
I didn't even know that's what he was trying to do.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was trying to flick it back onto Joe Hart's head. To Joe Hart, so Joe Hart could pick it up. But instead of just heading the ball away. It was the most randomest thing you've ever seen. Obviously, doesn't get enough contact on it. Djibril Cisse, rapid guy, clinical guy, gets onto it. And he absolutely blasted the ball past Joe Hart. I'm not talking, and that was the moment that the whole Etihad, bar the QPR fans, just fell silent.
It was pure silence.
It was like,
it's worth noting, by the way. It's worth noting the fact that QPR could have been relegated on that day as well.
Yeah.
Bolton were playing and they were both fighting for survival. So obviously they wanted to win the game to make sure that they stayed up. Because if they beat City, they'd stay up. However, losing against City, they'd be at risk. Because if Bolton won their game, then QPR would get relegated. But obviously that didn't happen. Pep Guardiola at 449. I was watching it in the pub with my sister, who's a United fan. That's nice. My mate Nathan. Well, our mate Nathan is a United fan, and he always says that he went into his room and just like didn't want to speak to anyone. He was like punching his bed bare because he was fuming. He was fuming at the situation.
Yeah. So now I've just checked the goal again, and it's Cisse smacks it. Could Joe Hart have saved it? Maybe. It wasn't too far away from him. It sort of just went straight through him. But Djibril Cisse absolutely blasts it past Joe Hart. That was just in the 48th minute, and everyone who's in the chat who was at the game will know that was the moment that we all went, shit, like this is not a good situation. Now, of course, there was still like plenty of time to rectify the situation. It wasn't a bad moment, you know what I mean? It scored right after half time. You still had 40 minutes to go and make the get back in the lead, but that is not what you wanted. Talk about game management in the watch-alongs, game management. And how important it is before halftime and after halftime to just work your way into the game, keep control of the ball, understand the sort of vibe that you're getting from the type of match. That there was no game management there. There was absolutely no game management. And I've just seen it again, the header from Lescott. Unfortunately, the thing I'm watching it on doesn't show the full thing. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it's not a good header. Djibril Cisse peels in between Clichy and company, and I just remember it, bro. The pace of which you hit the ball was just wild. Like I'll never sort of forget that. There's a few things that stick in your head from that day, and that was one of the things that stuck in my head. Like out of that goal and the Mackie goal, which we'll come on to in a minute, that's the one for me. Even though the Mackie goal was technically worse because that put them ahead, that was the one for me, Djibril Cisse, that I remember. Probably because it was the first, and two because I almost remember the sound of the ball hitting the back of the net and then like dropping onto the metal things at the bottom, and I was just like, no, and I feel like I can remember that even with the loud QPR fans, which were cheering, obviously, because at that point they didn't know whether they were going to be staying in the Premier League, man. So that was just a mad situation. Djibril Cisse smashed it past Joe Hart, and it's 1-1 at this point, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that, bro. Like anything like that. Like, your brain picking up on some mad cue points, I don't remember any sounds or anything like that. The goal that sticks out for me more is the Mackie goal. That's what I can remember being there. I remember seeing that. Do you know what I mean? I remember seeing that more. I remember seeing the thingy one, the Djibril Cisse one. I remember fuming when we was in the ground at the header, because you're just thinking Lescott's fucked us.
Yeah,
he's fucked us. Why has he done that for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the situation like that I remember the most. I mean, I just remember everyone like raging about Lescott and thinking, yeah, this is trash. Marie in the chat says, yes, John, I was 28 when this game happened. I was upstairs listening to it on the radio with Anthony. It was such an amazing day. I jumped up and down, broke my bed, every emotion that day. MCFC. That's it. Everyone went through every single emotion. One game to go through every single emotion, which is wild.
Yeah, it was insane. Guys, if you've not done so already, please drop a like on the stream. We're currently on 200 likes, 366 people in the stream. Let's see if we can get that up to 350 before the end of it. So please drop a thumbs up if you've not done so already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And go check out the One Football app, guys. They've sponsored today's stream. Mega app. I keep saying it all the time, but it's completely free. Do us a favour, download it, select City as your favourite team, or Wolves for Wolves FL, and you'll get all the team news straight to your phone. It's completely free, and you do help support the channel if you download it. And me and Jordan use it all the time, especially during matches, because it is sick, and with transfer rumours popping.
Transfer window is sick, on it.
Right, shall we move on from the Cisse goal, bro? Is there anything else you want to talk about regards that?
Move fast. Move fast away from that Djibril Cisse goal.
Yeah. But just before we do, guys, like I say, if you've got anything you remember about that goal or the certain points that we're talking about, the talking points, make sure you put it in the chat and we'll read them as many out as we can as possible. Tyler, where can I watch the City watch along? I think they're doing it on the YouTube channel or maybe City TV on the City website. I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to find out for you though, bro. Right, so yeah, let's move on from the Cisse goal because it's bad memories.
Pain.
At that point, things got a little bit better because at 1-1, 55th minute, Joey Barton decided to assault pretty much every single City player on the football pitch.
Guy lost his head massive, didn't he?
He completely lost the situation.
He was gunning for every man.
Yeah.
Was it Tevez the initial elbow was on, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he elbowed Tevez, and I remember that actually because them two weren't even anywhere near the ball at the time. I'm sure.
Yeah, they were well far away.
Yeah,
and it was off the ball situation. Yeah,
massive shout out to the linesman in that game because it was him.
Yeah, he's the one who flagged, wasn't it? Let's say.
I don't think Mike Dean actually saw it because obviously Mike Dean wouldn't have seen it because he wasn't looking because he was looking at the ball. You know what I mean? And I'd say the actual off-ball event between Tevez and Barton. That they were miles away from the ball. It was actually the linesman, and the reason the linesman seen it is because obviously that he's looking straight across the back line, and Tevez and Barton were obviously sort of in that sort of back line. Barton must have been pretty deep at the time. And I remember it took a while, and the referee going over to the linesman, then Mike Dean come over. He's shown Barton the red card, and then it just went absolutely incredible. Like Barton just started going ham on everyone. He ended up kneeing Aguero.
Crowd was popping off. It was
going off.
It was going wild. Everyone was screaming because everyone wanted to be sent off. Buster Jr. says he did it 100% on purpose.
I don't know, man. Like Joey Barton, yeah, obviously it was a fault. But are you saying he did it on purpose in terms of to try and help City?
Yeah, to get himself sent off.
I don't think so. I think he's just like that, bro. I don't think he did it to help City.
Didn't he get like a 7 or 8 game ban?
Oh yeah, he got a big ban. And he came out afterwards and said the reason why then he went mad was to try and get some of the City players sent off. So,
he wanted to get the City players riled up in it to get them sent off.
Yeah, because of course at the time, guys, again, what you got to remember is for the people that don't remember or weren't City fans at that point or whatever, is that QPR were in a relegation battle.
I just said this, yeah, QPR. You know what I mean? Because if Bolton would have won, they'd get relegated.
Yeah, exactly. So Bolton were playing Stoke, and you know that was the situation. So yeah, Joey Barton completely lost his head. 55 minutes. QPR, a relegation threatened side, are down to 10 men, and we're meant to be the Premier League favourites. You would have thought at that point, okay, what's that now? 35 minutes. Surely City can get a goal against a 10-man relegation-threatened QPR. Surely. The way we played that season, the amount of goals that we were scoring, surely to God, you think this would be a
at that point, you're buzzing.
Game.
You're buzzing thinking, yeah, we should walk this now. You know what I mean? The the football gods did not shine down on us at that point anyway. At that point, well, as we know, everything it got a lot worse, didn't it?
It did, yeah. So
how long was the gap between the second goal and the red card? Because I feel
10
like
minutes.
Yeah, it didn't. I remember it didn't feel that long.
Yeah, 10 minutes. And basically, what happened is the ball. It was just wild. Like pretty sure City just had the ball. They were chilling. I'm watching the highlights here. Ball was playing on the left hand side, right? And the guy just had loads and loads of space. And what you're seeing is Jamie Mackie coming down the right-hand side. And Sami Nasri was the guy who was sort of like in his area. And obviously Sami Nasri, fantastic technical footballer, wasn't the most hard-working player. He doesn't track back enough. Gail Clichy, he's got a man at the near post, so he can't do it. It's really all on Sami Nasri to get back and help out. That's probably the one player in that whole team that you really didn't want to be in that situation. And on the 66th minute, Jamie Mackie put QPR 2-1 ahead. And at this point, we were fucked. We now needed, 2 goals?
Yeah, at that point, you're thinking we bottled it. Like, everyone thought we bottled it at that point. At what time was this at now? Like, what point?
66 minutes.
66 minutes.
25 minutes to go.
I mean, 25 minutes. Obviously, it is still possible. It is there. But the worst part is, you're in a position where you basically just you have to go through pain. Because at that point, you're thinking that we fucked it, and you have to watch it. Because you can't leave, so you have to watch it. But people did leave. But you're basically just watching your team lose the title, even though it was in your hands. That was the worst part, and that was probably, I think, the most stressed I've been at a football match, like pain-wise. Yeah. Like, because it's horrible, because we're so close, you know what I mean? You're so close, and to literally just sit there in the ground, and it's, all the City fans are silent at this point, as well. There's like, it's just, everyone's like pure depressed.
Yeah.
It was mad.
This was the typical City striking again. Archie King Scott there says, I was only young at the time and I remember my dad going absolutely mental. I was so confused about what was happening. But when Aguero scored, my dad went mental and just picked me up. Mate, the emotions that like people had that day with like family members, friends, it was an incredible situation. And I think as well, like you said there, I think if you was like with your dad or your mum or whatever, and you was watching the game together, I can imagine that depending on how old you were, if you were a little bit younger, you might not have really understood some of the frustration and some of the anger that a lot of City fans displayed that day, because we were so angry and disappointed and upset. We had basically all the emotions at 2-1 down. You were absolutely gutted. City had this in their hands. We had it in our hands. We were 1-0 up against a relegation threatened side. And then we saw ourselves 2-1 down against a 10-man relegation threatened side. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like we're playing a decent team and it's 11 versus 11. We were playing a team that was in a relegation battle and they had 10 men. You know what I mean?
We were bottling it.
We were bottling it. It wasn't a good situation. Afan is coming with the 10.
Yes, Afan. I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah. And it says, I remember watching the game with my dad, and around the end, we were like, yeah, they're not going to win. And my dad changed the channel.
Oh, no.
Today and forever, bleed blue. Oh, my God, bro.
That's mad.
Afan, the mad thing is now, bro, you're going to have to come back and comment on how did you then find out that we'd won the league? Yeah. Like, how long after he turned the channel did you realise that City had actually scored the 2 goals? You know what I mean? Could have been the next day for all he knew. You know what I mean? He could have just gone to bed. Woke up the next day, found out City won the title. Let us know in the chat. I'm curious to find out that situation.
Simon says he turned off the radio and went into his room.
Oh,
so because so many people would have done this. So many people would have done this. It's a real thing, right? And it'd be mad if this guy watches us or remembers us or something. But there was a guy, right? There's a guy who used to sit in front of me and Lewis. And he used to go sick every single game. We used to laugh at him loads because he had like basically LB rages. He had that like times 10, right? Every game he'd go sick, and we'd always laugh at him. 5 minutes ago, whatever, he had enough. Yeah. He was like, "I've had enough, lads. See you next season." And he just got off. He just got off, left the stadium. He 100% left the stadium. And I always say now, he definitely does not tell his mates that he left that stadium.
Yeah.
Because he was there. People were fighting to get them tickets.
Yeah.
And he left 5 minutes before, bro.
A lot of people left. Loads of people were leaving. A lot of people, and I understand it was a horrible situation to be in. And
like I said, it's pain, isn't it? You're basically going through pain. It's horrible to go through. It's hard to go through it.
It was an awful experience. It really, really was. When you were 2-0 down, and I'm on the highlights now, we were in the 90th minute and we were still losing 2-1 in the 90th minute with 5 minutes added on. It was done. In fact, the fact that so many fans did stay is a credit to this football club and a credit to themselves, because every single one of them fans, myself and Jordan included, we were going through torture. That's the only way that you can possibly describe what it was.
Yeah,
it was torture.
It's one of the worst things that I've been through that. And I remember sat there, and I this is one of the things I remember when you said about saying, "Oh, what you've said to each other." I remember looking at you, bro, and I was saying, "I don't know what to do in it. What do we do?" And you was like, "There's nothing that we can do, bro. You just gotta watch it." And I was like, I remember saying, "But it's pain."
Yeah.
But you literally like, I just remember saying like, I don't know what to do in it, like. Because you don't know how to deal with the situation, so I'm asking Lewis for advice on how to deal with the situation. Lewis just like, you just gotta watch it, innit? We just gotta sit here.
That's it.
Like that's all you can do, innit?
There was nothing else that you could do other than just leave if you couldn't face it anymore. And I understand why people couldn't face it, because it wasn't nice, and the only other option was to leave. But that's
what the guy in front of us took, innit? He took the option of
a lot of people did.
Loads of people did. Alex Birch, yes, Alex Birch. He remembers crying, begging his dad to let us leave the ground, and he was 8, bro.
Oh,
because it was painful for kids as well. You know what I mean? Like, so he was a kid saying to his dad, "Please, can we just leave?" And then he says he's forever grateful that his dad didn't let him leave.
I think as well, because when you thought it's kind of different. Obviously, we were 17 at the time. I think when you're that sort of age, there was probably a different type of build-up to the game. Like, your dad was probably like, "Oh, you're going to get to see all the players lift the trophies," and because you're a kid and you're only 8 years old, you're probably like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing." You probably had your face painted. You probably had this full expectation of this just complete, magnificent and wonderful day, and it's sort of like snatching the sweets out of a kid's hand. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're not having it. You know what I mean? And there would have been so many kids that day just crying their eyes out, man, like because of what was going on. Obviously, the older I think you get, I think at our age we got really frustrated, really angry, and obviously there's that famous clip of that guy who was probably mid-20s, late 20s, who was smacking the chair because
he's like hitting his jacket onto the chair. Isn't
he? I think obviously at our age at that point we obviously know a typical City, but we're still quite new to it. You know, we're only 17 years old. I think then. You then have the older generation, and I need to be careful what I say when I say older, but, you know, the people who have witnessed the typical City year after year after year after year after year, they were probably just like, yep, this is what I kind of expected.
This is what we do.
And they probably were calmer. So you sort of had like the full sort of emotional range from the kids who were probably crying their eyes out, the sort of teens and mid-20s who were just ready to just clash with anything that was going on because they were so frustrated and so annoyed because whilst they did understand typical City, we were still quite young and thought, it must be a little bit of a myth at the same time. And then you had the older fans who were just like, yeah, this is complete. This is what I expected from this football club.
Yeah. This is what we do. Sam Mattis is the legacy fans. That's what you got to call them, innit? The legacy fans. That's what they've been branded.
Luke Price with the £2 super donation. Yes, Brie says, was sat in 1-1-10 that day. Still gives me goosebumps.
Facts. Yeah. Every single time I watch that video, honestly, you nearly tear up in that. Well, I nearly tear up in that. Like, I get goosebumps every time I watch it.
Lagan Cow with a 449 says, was watching the United match that day, obviously with United fans. A 10-year-old me, not knowing a lot about football, found it so funny. Yeah, I mean, if he was with United fans, I can imagine it was very funny. John Nuttall, thanks a lot for joining the Extra Club, man.
Yes, John.
Appreciate your support, John. Thank you very much. And David Griffin, who's used his member chat today with 8 months, says, great to be with you guys. Thanks a lot, David. Glad you're enjoying the content. I'm just trying to see if Afan ever got back to us after his super chat.
I didn't see it.
To see when he actually found out, because I kind of want to know. And then same goes for Simon. Simon said he turned off the radio.
Yeah, when did you find out? And when did you find out? After?
Because I think, obviously, it was 2012, so we're not talking about, it's a decade ago. But I don't think social media back then was as big as it is now, even though it was still only 10 years, which is quite recent. So how quickly especially for the fans in other countries where maybe, in America, I don't know how big City is in America. It probably wasn't even as big as it is now back in 2012. Like, it's not like you would have had loads of mates texting you about City. Surely, I don't know.
And Twitter weren't big.
Twitter weren't big back then.
So you know what I mean? You're not just going to turn on Twitter and see like it all popping off kind of thing.
Oh, Simon said, I think my dad carried on and listened. And,
called you down. That's mad. That's mad. Actually, it says, my brother's a United fan, so he called me in the room to watch TV and said, see, United will win the league in 10 minutes. And when Aguero happened, it was the funniest thing for me. And that's how I became a City fan. That's mad. That's funny, that. as if he was like, yeah, come in here and watch United win the Premier League. And he came in and watched City win it instead. Yeah. That's funny, that.
Matt Burns says, I left Wembley when we met Gillingham and we were getting beat. Found out on Wembley Way we'd equalised on a tube when we won it. I was gutted.
Oh, my God, that's awful.
So, Mark, question. When you was going through this experience, did you stay this time or did you go again?
Oh, yeah. Did you leave early again? Or, did you learn
I want to know, Mark, because if you left, Mark, that is poor form, mate. Poor form,
yeah. I mean, you've been burnt once, innit? So don't do it again.
I want to see it in the chat, Mark. Well, what was the situation there? Danny Moore says, lads, I was 31 at the time. Thought it was another City letdown, but no, amazing. It was
mad.
It was absolutely insane.
Cody Steckman with a 10. As an American, I had no interest in football. I watched a random 9320 doc video on YouTube until I was 16 and became a City fan from then on. So that moment played a major part in my fandom. And I think it did for a lot of fans, actually. Yeah. I think because of, we win the league normally, we would have missed out on so many of these fans who became City fans just because of the Aguero moment.
Yeah.
Like, look, because that moment obviously kind of sent a shockwave around footballing world because it's one of the best. It's the best Premier League moment.
Yeah, and I think as well because it was against United in the title race, a lot of fans who were maybe getting into football at that time, or maybe like soccer in America, and then were thinking about getting more involved with the Premier League and choosing a club. I think they probably saw City, saw that we were the underdog. It's funny saying that at the time because we're not anymore.
Yeah.
Saw that we were the underdog. Saw that in the last moment of the game, we managed to snatch it out of United's hands, and then saw all the emotional fans at the ground, loads of fans crying. They just probably thought, you know what, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
And had we just won the league 2-0 that day, you probably wouldn't have got as many fans as that we do now, because I think the emotional side to that day, probably for a lot of like I say, a lot of fans who were looking at picking a club probably thought, you know what, this is the club for me, man. I want
to get involved in that. But little did they know they were conned because we're serial bottlers.
yeah. Afan with the 5 says, we were watching the news and bam, breaking news. City are champions of England.
No way. That's how he found out.
That's how you found out. He was watching the news. That's kind of mad.
That's mad. I just see Mark put in the chat, bro. He said, I swore never again would I leave any match early.
You've not answered the question though, there, Matt.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
you might have swore it, but did you stick to it? Did answer the question? I want a yes or no answer. Manchester City versus QPR 2012. Did you leave early? You might have swore that you'd never leave again, but did you stick to that rule?
Radio Axe says, mate, I was 6 years old, dad and uncle going mad, angry when the second one went in. I was confused at the time, but that moment happened, and City was ingrained into my soul from that point on. So that's another guy who's like, do you know what I mean? It's like that it did play a massive part, bro. It played a massive part in our fan base, and obviously, because people still say now, like obviously people in this chat saying that it's because of that moment I became a City fan. People jumping on board.
Yeah, Hamza with the 5 says, was heavily considering turning the game off. Thank God I didn't. You know, exactly, man. Hey, Mark says, no, he didn't leave. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, so he learned from it, innit? Thing is, though, it's pain. It's absolute pain to go through. So that's why, like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to know what to do. Like, every bone in your body says, don't watch this because it's painful. Do you know what I mean? Basically, do you know what I mean? Like, leave the ground because you are in pain. Like, this is not good for your mental health watching this. Please leave. But you just can't, innit? You just can't. But you can understand why people left.
Yeah, and Mario says here, how people got such a good memory, I can't remember what I did yesterday. It's just because of the experience on the day, mate.
Yeah,
like,
I only remember like little things, innit? And little thing, when we talk about it now, little things kind of like pop back up into like your memory, innit? But like I'm the same, innit? I barely remember yesterday. But then again, I was steaming last night, so. But that is a thing. It's just because, like you said there, bro, it's the memory, innit? It's the memory, so it's ingrained in your brain that time.
And I think as well, there are certain things from that day and from the game that you don't remember. It's just like a complete blackout. But there are certain moments, and I guess different people will have different moments that they remember. Depends on, maybe they said something. Like I remember saying that to Jordan at half time. He remembers the Mackie goal more than the Cisse goal. Everyone, and I guess it depends where you were. If you was at a different part of the stadium, you probably remember different things because of what you saw, what you were hearing. Again, people who are watching it in the pub, people who are watching it at home, people listening on the radio, everyone probably remembers different things from the day depending on their own personal circumstances. Nick Saw with a 35 says, I was watching with my cousin, Man United fan, and I was 11. I just remember him laughing in my face before the 2 goals, and I wanted to cry rip down.
That's pain.
Yeah, I mean, he's not laughing. He wasn't laughing.
Not laughing now. Or was. Legan Carr with a 449. Obviously not for this game, but when Hibs played Rangers in 2016, game headed for extra time, I'd accepted defeat, and he watched the news later to see us win.
I think there's a lesson here for everyone involved. Never ever turn the TV. Never ever turn a game off if you think it's done, because it's never over until that referee blows that final whistle. So as painful as it can be, you've really got to just stick in there. You know, you really, really do. And it was like the FA Cup game against United when we were 3-0 down. We considered leaving, didn't we? In fact, we were leaving. We went on the we were 3-0 down. We had 10 men because Vinny Company got sent off.
Oh yeah.
And we was about to leave. We went on the spiral, and then we were like, let's just chill.
That's the first game. The first game I've been in tier 3, because then I was like, this is well steep. This.
Yeah, we was considering leaving. Then we thought, you know what? Let's just calm ourselves down. Let's chill out. We stopped. We went back in. And we put in a brilliant second half performance. We didn't win the game. We still got knocked out, but it was great. And
it was mint. The atmosphere was sick as well. All City fans proper wrongly sent off as well. Simon says, yeah, that's right. It shouldn't have been a send off that. Yeah, because it didn't. Micah Richards like slot into like a centre back role. Something like that. Anyway, it was a mad game. It was a mad game because the City fans were going mad. Like actually, like sick atmosphere. We shouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah, I want to move on now to the Dzeko goal, guys, because there's 10 minutes left before the City thing starts. So I want to make sure we're done for 7, so you can all go and watch that. Before I do, I just want to read this comment out from Connor, because I think it's quite important. It's quite nice. He says, "I have grown up as a City fan my whole life. I remember watching this with my dad. We were both so happy. My dad passed away 3 days later. It's the best memory I have with my dad was watching that game. That's a beautiful message, Connor. Thanks for sending that in, mate. Right, let's move on to the Dzeko goal then. 90th minute, right? We had a corner. David Silva swung it in, and Balotelli had the header and headed it straight at goal. And unfortunately, he headed it straight at Paddy Kenny and he kept it out. That was in the 90th minute. I think at that point, most City fans went,
that was it.
That was the chance.
That was the chance. That was that point there, bro. That was the chance. That one there was the chance. Yeah. Just before you go on to the next corner, Nathan says, I remember it well. Me, LB, and JP were at Stamford Bridge watching a 2-1 win over Blackburn. That result changed our life and allegiance. Yeah, that's funny. That
91st minute. So we only have 5 minutes injury time. 5 minutes. It's not a lot, really. You still need 2 goals. We're in the 91st minute, right? Ball swung in from David Silva. Who's there? Edin Dzeko, the man.
People don't give him enough credit for that, you know.
No, however, funny story. And I want to know how many people did the same thing as me, and probably Jordan. I don't know. You can tell yourself. I have never been more angry at a City goal in my life. When Edin Dzeko scored, then I was angry. I didn't cheer. I was angry, man. I was like, "Fuck this guy! Fuck this club! Like, what the hell?"
Bro, I remember having a little speaking about it, and I remember you saying, before that goal went in, and as it was getting onto it, like getting to the end of the game, you said to me, you'd be more annoyed if we scored now.
Yeah.
You'd rather lose the game than us draw the game.
Because that would have been worse, because you'd be even closer to the title.
Yeah, I remember you saying it.
Just completely lost the football match than draw and be even closer to the title and not win it.
Luke Price says, I left early to buy a half-and-half scarf. If that is true, that is pure criminal. You should be arrested for that.
Well, what was everyone else's reaction to that Dzeko goal? Yeah, I mean, because I guess some people have been like, come on, let's do it. We've got 3.5 minutes left. Some people might, I don't know, how many other people was angry, you know what I'm saying? Because I was angry. I was like, nah, I would rather have just lost the game. Because I could not envisage us then scoring a second goal. Because there was only 3 minutes left, and it was just like, there's no chance we're going to score another. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. It's unbelievable. You couldn't believe that we would go on and score another goal. So I was angry at the fact.
I remember there was an old guy who was sat next to me, and he'd not been there all season. Well, he didn't have a season ticket or anything. He got given that seat by someone because they wanted him to go and watch City win the league, because he'd obviously never seen us win the Premier League, and at that point, I remember him being so gutted. I think he was nearly crying, actually. He was so gutted. I just remember because he was on my side, didn't it? He was on my side. Obviously, Lewis sat next to me. And I just remember him being gutted about the fact that we've got so close to it. And then I'm sure he said as well at that time, like, it's typical City. But in my head, do you know what I mean? I didn't really, think of that, do you know what I mean? Like, the typical City kind of thing.
Yeah. No, and it's, it was a wild situation. 92 minutes on the clock, and City needed to find another goal. But yeah, when Edin Dzeko headed that ball in, I was angry, man. Like I was like, nah, this ain't. I can't stand this.
There's a good shout from Simon here. Just after that Dzeko goal. He said, do you remember Nasri lets the ball go out for a throw-in and it went to QPR?
Yes.
Because is that the throw-in where they just threw it straight back to us?
Nah, I think they actually tried to play it, but yeah, you're right. The ball got kicked away, and Nasri thought it was a City ball. It was going out for a throw-in. Nasri thought it was a City ball, and he let it go out thinking it was going to be a City throw-in, but it wasn't a City ball. It was a QPR throw-in, and that just sort of explained the sort of frustration that City fans had right there, because everyone was just going sick. I remember it well.
Do you remember the Sean Wright-Phillips run?
Yeah, I've got that literally on my screen now, the Sean Wright-Phillips run. So Sean Wright-Phillips gets tackled by Zabaleta, and it's the most obvious QPR ball you've ever seen. It's not like it could have been a City throw-in. It was clearly a throw-in for QPR, and Samir Nasri thinks that it's a City ball, completely incorrectly. Yeah, we're now into the 92nd minute, 44 seconds. There's less than 2.5 minutes to go. There's 2 minutes 15 to go, and we're leaving the ball to go out for a throw-in because we think it's our ball, and it's not. It's a QPR ball. I'm gonna roll it here to see what exactly happens. Again, we're just taking so long. There's the clip of the guy going sick. He's smashing the chair, mate. He turns around. He's going mad.
He's done an interview with City. It's on the 9320 The Fans, it's called. They did like 3 separate like documentary things. They did 9320 The Media, 9320 The Fans, and 9320 The Players, and they speak about all 3 different like people. They probably show it today at the ground, the 3 different ones. They did it ages ago, but they did an interview with that guy, bro. The guy who's slamming his chair with his top.
Yeah. We're now into the 93rd minute. 2 minutes to go. QPR got the throw in. 2 players go forward. They throw it. They do actually throw it to a QPR player. Good header this time from Julian Lescott, and he gives the ball to Nigel de Jong, pushing forward. And of course, at this point, United have won the game. So United, as it stands right now, United have won their match. They are Premier League champions. City have got 2 minutes. In fact, 1 minute 50 seconds to find a goal against 10-man QPR. Nigel de Jong brings the ball forward. We're now against 9 men because one of the players is behind him. Sergio Aguero drops so deep. Now, of course, when Pep Guardiola came, we saw a lot of this. We saw a lot of this Sergio Aguero dropping so deep. But at the time, we never saw him drop this deep. He was a goal scorer. Very rare that Sergio Aguero would drop that deep. He'd normally be on the edge of the penalty area, waiting for the ball to be delivered in. And he's just like, you know what? I'm going to have to try and make something happen here. He drops deep. There was no one else there. Plays the ball into Balotelli. He then gets falls on the floor. Everyone gets attracted to Balotelli.
Yeah. Funnily enough as well, obviously he does get a tap on it, innit, which goes to Aguero. And that's Balotelli's only assist for Manchester City.
Exactly.
He only had 1 assist, and it was that moment, which is wild.
That is a mad stat. His only ever Man City assist. Plays the ball to Company. And I think it's Taiwo, goes in on Aguero, and I'm thinking, and everyone else is thinking, oh my God, we're going to get a penalty in the last second of the game, and it's going to be penalty to take it out. But no, he stays on his feet, and then typical Aguero, there's not many strikers that do this. Aguero quite often went for the near post rather than going across goal, and he smacked it near post. Paddy Kenny should have saved it near post, but he's hit with such power, and the rest, as they say, is history. It's in the back of the driller. And Man City win the game.
Top
3-2.
off, swinging his top about, celebrating. And that's where the statue comes from. That's obviously the statue thing, innit? They took it from that iconic celebration. And obviously City won the league, innit? Which is absolutely wild. Oh, Jack Lightfoot said he didn't mean to go near post. He said it in an interview.
Did he not? I think he just hit it with so much power.
I think he just hit it as hard as he could.
You know what I'm thinking? Going back to that, when Nasri let the ball out, could that have actually been a blessing in disguise? Because at that point, they push a lot of their players up. When Nigel de Jong gets the ball, I think it's Jamie Mackey's behind the ball. So now we're only playing against 9 men because obviously one of them's been sent off and one of them's behind Nigel de Jong. One of them's trying to sprint back. They're now coming back because they've just lost possession. Because if you think about it, if Nasri would have kept the ball in, QPR would have stayed back and would have sat back. But because they got the throw in, they thought to themselves, right, let's push out a little bit, and squeeze City a little bit. Well, actually, that creates the space. So Nasri, whilst he was a bit of an idiot at the time, letting the ball go out when it was clearly a QPR throw, that could have been one of the major errors that actually caused City to score the goal because it allowed QPR to push out a little bit. Nigel de Jong's get the ball. At this point, their full midfield is now dropping deep. The defence has dropped deep, so then obviously they're in transition. Everyone gets attracted to Mario Balotelli. Leaves the space for Sergio Aguero. I actually think that error from Samir Nasri letting the ball go out, I've only just realised this after watching it back, could have actually contributed to us actually scoring the goal because QPR came out.
Not that he meant it.
Not that he meant it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm calling it an error.
Yeah. Nick Toll with a 14. Nasri 4DGS needs a trophy. Nasri. Get him a statue for that moment. You should get him a statue of him throwing the ball, innit? Holding it. Right, the City event is in 2 minutes, innit? Before we go, got pictures in it, bro.
Oh dear, let me have a look at the pictures, bro. I want to see the pictures before you put them on.
Why?
God, I want to see them, innit?
Oh wait, I can't. Hang on. They're there. Can you see them? 3 pictures of me and you. Look, there's me. There's me crying. And there's you with your cardigan because you lost your top.
Oh my God.
You lost your top. We ran on the pitch, right? We ran on the pitch and LB lost a City top. But it never surfaced.
It never surfaced.
It never came back, innit? I'm going to show you 3 pictures, innit? Like, fast, innit? I mean, so we'll get roasted with these, innit? But here's what it is, right? This one, me, bare long hair and that, super skinny version of me. That's us on the pitch. I'm crying my eyes out. I'm crying and smiling. I think I had... Am I holding anything in that? I'm not holding anything in that.
Yes, Dash Mess. Thanks a lot for joining the Extra Club, man. Appreciate the support.
What a trim. What a trim. Yeah. Yeah, so there's me crying my eyes out. There's another one. There's Lewis. Lost his top, but his yellow cardigan. There, I mean,
Mate,
wore a cardigan.
What was wrong with my hair there, man? You know what I
mean? Bro, your hair.
everyone was rocking that Justin Bieber haircut.
Yeah, I clearly still haven't gotten away from that. And then the last one. This is the only picture I've got that is just me. Well, that was the old guy who sat next to me behind me. He was crying his eyes out when that Aguero goal went, and I remember that made me cry.
Oh, is that the old guy?
Yeah, that's the old guy who sat next to me, innit? If you recognise him, you know what I mean? But yeah, then that's when I got back to the seat, because you took that picture when I got back to the seat. Because we got on the pitch, we got ushered off the pitch, innit? Because everyone was like, leave the pitch. Lewis did the smart thing and walked the other way to our seats, didn't you? I didn't. So we're sat in Colin Bell stand. I got off on the other end, near South Stand, but on the other end where the fans are, and I had to run round the stadium. Then I got back, and then obviously you looked older there. Yeah, yeah.
You got the reverse age.
Yo, Johnny, your hair used to be better than now. Nah, I can't go back to that. I can't go back to that. To be fair, I've kind of ditched all attempts of a trim anymore. But yeah, so that's they're the only three pictures I can find. I mean, they're the only three pictures I could find because it was on.
Yeah, I can't find any. It's annoying. I've got some of the West Ham one, but I ain't got any of the QPR one. I think.
Funny as well because you took all the pictures.
Yeah, I don't know what phone I had or whatever. And this is why you need the cloud. This is the cloud. This is why the cloud is too late, man. We needed it back in 2012. But yeah, it was mad. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys, because the City event's starting any second now. So I know some people want to go and watch that. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. It was a mad, mad day. Never forget it. If you didn't watch it at the time or you weren't a City fan back at the time, it was all you need to know, man. It was one of the most emotional days ever. Not even just in football. It was just wild, man. And at the end of it, pretty much every single City fan had the biggest headache you've ever experienced. Yeah. It was insane. Is the City event on YouTube? I mean, I thought it would be on YouTube, but maybe it's on their City TV thing that they do on the City website, which is £2 a month, but you can normally get a free thing in it. So
yeah, you can get a free thing for a week in it, so just go for that.
I don't know, man. So, yeah, go check it out anyway. But, yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. I know people want to go watch it. Thank you very much for joining us. Please go and download the OneFootball app. Link in the description, pin comment as well. If you download it, you help support the channel, so we really do appreciate it. It's completely free. So go check that out. Smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, guys. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We'll be back tomorrow with West Ham preview, so make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.